Oh, hi. It's nice to be here. I wanted to talk to you about the meaning of sports. I don't know if you're recreational athletes or competitive athletes, but athletes anyhow. These are not my statues, as you know probably. There's Aristotle, Socrates, and Maslow. I was wondering with my friends who are athletes also that what's the meaning of sports nowadays, because like Ian showed us, you could even live on a virtual world if you wanted it, and you could have experiences like almost in reality. What's lacking usually with AI is the humane approach that's constantly in there in sports. The human-centric approach needs to be there. How it comes to these guys is that sports is about winning and losing, and I believe that it's about emotions. In winning, there's this euphoria feeling that you need as a achievement based competitive situation. It's about pleasure and excitement, and it's the emotion. In losing, after all, you are having some kind of a tragedy, and what tragedy is from Aristotle is that it's ultimately it's going to lead to purification of emotions and thoughts, and that's called catharsis. And why Maslow is here, it's about the pyramid, of course. He stated that peak experiences like what sports is offering you, it's going to lead to self-actualization. And that's the state where personal potential is fully realized. So my name is Pekka Koskela. My path is 20 years on the Finnish national team, four-time Olympian. Started from Turin 2006, and I quit my job in 2018 in Olympics on the 14th of February, I guess. I made 3 world records when I was skating, and those were my peak experiences, of course. So, but everybody needs on a sports domain. You first learn to lose before you can learn to win, because that's the way it's structured. Right now, I'm the snack providing robot back home. I'm the father of 3 and really proud of my kids. But the world has changed when I was 35. This is it's almost a different perspective and a different domain. As being an athlete in sports domain, as a coach or mentor, it's all different. I wanted to package my career in a book. It was published a year ago, and it was all about how to become one of the fastest men on earth. In my situation, of course, on speed skates. That's one of the fastest self-propelled sport when we are going 65 kilometers per hour. So, to data. When you see a picture like this, you think about legacy systems, and it's gonna give me some allergy, Of course, all of us here. These are just examples that I innovated with my coach to test my performance, to know where to navigate in different situations in my path. Skater's repetitive jump test is a plyometric jump test. That's testing your explosive power output, measuring your contact times and the force you are putting down on the ground during the jump, like concentric, eccentric, muscle working situation. The other one is road cycling test, when you can feel your lactate pouring already on your head because you're so full of it. You know what is lactate, I believe. Yeah, and speed skating is full of lactate. I made a world record on 1,000 meters, 107 flat, and I measured 24 millimoles in my blood lactate. That's quite high if you don't know about the scales. And the one here is my stress and recovery test. So it was heart rate variability in a year 2010. Nowadays everybody can get them. I have a Whoop and you guys have ODAs and other wearables. So, but sports performance hasn't been that tech-savvy environment. We are testing power soles in my speed skaters. You can see some things hanging on my back, and that was the transmitter for the data. So actually the sole was a good product, but all of the other things on the application was not developed well. So, but we were in the edge of sports tech on my career. Nobody else did it when we did it. So, to look forward, we need two-handed approach. We need a software, and we need a human touch. We need coaches, mentors, and specialists. Because the other one has a lot of calculation power and abilities to gather different data streams together, but it lacks all of the creativity, and that's the human-centric meaning here, that you need creativity also in sports, not only on play. So, we have been developing a platform as a Sprint AI, a company that I'm involved with. The idea is to incorporate all of the data streams that are there at the moment and is gonna be there in the foreseeable future. There lies some cybersecurity issues, I don't know where should we actually collect our brain imaginary, for example, the renders of brains. If there's some cognitive issues with athletes or other people, where should it be stored? And of course, then there's this personal information about health, but also the recent performance, heart rates, all of that's going on in the cloud. So, the disruption happened 4 years ago when application development rapidly increased, and you can see another bump now because there's the generative AI helping us coding and making even faster pipelines. What you can now measure is blood oxygen, skin temperature, continuous glucose monitoring, of course power output. I don't know if you're familiar with this, but these are the small details that's gonna make the Norwegian better than the rest of the world, or the Finnish. Norway is pretty good on sports. I don't know if there's any Norwegian here. So we have unstructured data that's dispersed, and we have a question that how is it going to be synthesized and incorporated in a platform way of thinking. There is going to be a countless variables involved, and of course one of the main things is the user experience, the interface to human, because athletes are pretty, let's say, ballsy sometimes. They have their own habits to create the performance they are putting out. So to interfere that habitual rhythm during the day, it's not the easiest job. And now we have the social generations of Z and Alpha that are digital natives. And so they know how to demand decent user experiences. They are occupying pro sports at this moment. Are you familiar with digital twin technology? I think these guys in the first row are. Yeah, to simulate something that's happening, you need a vast amount of variables and appropriate methods to analyze. And one of the main outputs that you're going to get from digital twin technology is the simulation to predict what's going to happen if you input, let's say, a headwind on a Tour de France stage. Who is going to go over their functional threshold power to keep up with the pace? So that's about really using the technology to see what's going to happen in the future. For example, in a race, in a bike race. So I believe that this method is going to scale down to every one of us, you know. We have similar body systems as the athletes here, like myself too. They are in different states, but we are built the same way, of course. And I believe that you're going to have a digital AI coach, everybody, in a year or two. And it's going to tell you that right now you should do a 30-minute walk, but don't go anywhere. Yeah. So the future is here, you know. There's going to be countless of variables. These are just main categories, but you're gonna get a lot of data that's related to your health or your activity or sleeping or recovery. And you need multivariable co-correlation analysis. You need causalities. In a higher level of elite performance, you need load optimization. You need readiness to perform tomorrow. Is there anything you can do in next 2 days to be better in the weekend? And then you got the recovery quality. How was your sleep last night? If you had fun yesterday evening, was it really worth it? Like you say sometimes. So this is our approach. We are at this stage. We are having neurosymbolic AI analysis methods. It's kind of a same kind of thing that Tesla did in automotive. You have rule-based network, and then you have neuro networks. Then you kind of hand them in the same phase altogether. Then what's really interesting is the sports science research databases. There's a lot of information that's handwritten, let's say. And you cannot control that without these new LLMs. So we are gonna incorporate a lot of language models in there, basically open source. What's interesting here is the inputs, how much you are covering from your daily life, and what's the lowest level that's needed, and if we are having good applications to do it. One of the best is the Aura, of course. It even looks good. And what about the results and analysis? Who cares about predictions of your performance tomorrow? Well, I do, but I'm a former athlete, so you have a different way of life. So we're gonna see some interesting phases of future tomorrow. So digital twin technology is about theoretical perfect athlete. The superhuman, that's almost like a robot, of course. But I don't know if you want to see any robots playing NHL. Like this guy here, Mr. Pavelski, he is actually a robot. I had a case study with Dallas Stars, and but I feel like this is the ultimate way of delivering value he is doing here, because he's scoring the goal, and you can give a currency for that. But I think we can see euphoria in his face here. What do you think? It's an emotion which a robot couldn't deliver. But if you want to go to this approach and in this domain, you gotta build and test with elite level Olympic sports. It's a whole another environment. You need partnerships with strong franchise value, and of course you got the challenge of high user engagement. Mr. Pavelski is not the most eager guy wanting to change his habitual things, so he might wear a strap or not. But the opportunities are beating the threats right now. Opportunities are here. Individualization in training, pinpoint accuracy in coaching, and longer careers, better return on invest on the signed athlete. All in all, I wanted to point out the humane approach that's in sports, the world where emotions are the fuel, and that is still the basis in body systems orchestration we are doing. Even though I think we demand robotic behavior from the athletes. Thank you. I think we have some time with the questions. No.
Sorry. Thank you so much, Pekka. Right on the second.